Through the shadows of New Year's Eve, a narrow escape. Once upon a time, in the serene village of Kasamba, nestled among lush tea plantations and rolling hills, preparations for New Year's Eve were in full swing. The community buzzed with anticipation for the annual celebration, but for three sisters, Maria, Claire, and Rachel, it was a day of separate plotting. The girls lived with their grandmother, a stern but loving woman who had raised them since they were little. Known in the village for her deep wisdom and powerful prayers, Granny was a firm believer in discipline and tradition. Yet, her strict rules often felt stifling, especially on a night as thrilling as New Year's Eve. A plan at the stream. That morning, the sisters made their usual trip to fetch water from the stream, balancing clay pots on their heads as they walked the narrow path through the tea fields. "Tonight's our chance," Claire said in a hushed tone, glancing around to make sure no one was listening. Rachel nodded eagerly. "We can sneak out after Granny falls asleep. Everyone will be at New Year's Eve dance in town. We can't miss it." Maria, the eldest and most conscious, hesitated. "Granny wonders about going out at night. She says that spirits roam freely on New Year's Eve." Claire rolled her eyes. "She says that every year. Besides, she will be deep asleep after dinner. We will just slip out through the window." Maria sighed. "All right, but we have to be careful, and we must be back before dawn." A day of hard work. Back home, the sisters threw themselves into their chores. They swept the compound, fetched firewood, helped Granny with the cooking, and even prepared her evening tea, a strong brew of herbs from their garden. "You girls are unusually obedient today," Granny remarked, her sharp eyes narrowing. What are you up to?" "Nothing, Granny," Maria said with a smile, smiling through her heart rests. As the sun set and the villagers prepared for the festive, Granny retired to her room, muttering a prayer as she settled into her bed. Her snore will soon fill the hut, signaling the sisters that it was time. The Great Escape. The girls waited a little longer to ensure Granny was deeply asleep. Then one by one, they slid out through the window, their hearts pounding with a mix of excitement and fear. The cool night air greeted them as they made their way through the vast tea plantation. The moonlight reflected off the glossy tea leaves, casting airy shadows that danced in the gentle breeze. "We will take the shortcut through the plantation," Claire whispered. The distant sound of drums and laughter from the village square pulled them on, but their joy was short-lived. A dangerous encounter. As they moved deeper into the plantation, sisters froze at the sound of muffled cries. Peering through the bushes, they saw a horrifying sight: a group of young women tied together, surrounded by men with torches and knives. Maria grabbed her sister and pulled them into the shadows. "We have to leave. We have to leave now." Claire's eyes filled with tears. "We can't just leave them. They need help." Maria hesitated, torn between fear and the urge to act. "We will go for help," she whispered. "We can't do this alone." But the men had noticed something. Their torches swung idly. They called out into the darkness. "Run!" Maria hissed. The sisters took off, crashing through the tea plant bushes as shout erupted behind them. Their bare feet stumbled over roots and they didn't stop until they reached the edge of the plantation. A narrow escape. Breathlessly and trembling, the girls emerged onto the dirt path leading home. Just as they thought they were safe, a group of drunken revelers appeared. Staggering and laughing loudly, the sisters dug into a ditch, pressing themselves against the cool earth until the men passed. Rachel wiped her tears. We shouldn't have come. Granny was right." Maria hugged her tightly. "Well, we'll be home soon. Let's just keep moving." home and redemption. By the time they climbed back through the window, the first light of dawn was creeping over Kasamba. The sisters collapsed onto their mats, their hearts onto their beds, their hearts still pounding with fear and relief. Moments later, Granny stared and entered their room. Her sharp eyes immediately noticed their dusty clothes and tear-streaked faces. "Where have you been?" she asked, her voice calm but heavy with disappointment. Well, Granny, the thing is, we not until Maria really had to stand up and then she responded. Maria sat up, guilty etched across her face. "We went out, Granny, but we saw terrible things. We can't unsee if it weren't for your prayers." Granny's expression softened, and she decided to sit down and hear more about what they had to say about what had happened. "So tell me more, my grandchildren, what really happened over the night?" "Well, you see," she knelt beside them. "I told you the night is dangerous, especially on New Year's Eve, but the Lord watches over you, because I never stop praying for you. Next time, listen to me." Well, she said all these words when she had called them and they sat in the sitting room and discussed everything. Well, Maria and the rest of the girls, Claire, and all the other grandchildren that stay home were there together with them. They narrated how everything went, and this was a lesson to them. A lesson learned. The sisters spent the rest of the day reflecting on their grandma's wisdom. They realized how close they had come to danger and how much they owed to her prayers. That night, as the village welcomed a new year, the girls stayed by Granny's side, joining her in prayer and vowing never to let their curiosity lead them into trouble again. From that day forward, they carry the lessons of that harrowing night with them, a reminder that in the darkest times, faith and love can light the way home. Always and ever.